We are very happy to announce the apps on Apple and Google Play for Burkett Financial Services. And what I wanted to do was take a few minutes to show you and walk you through how to install them on your phone. Now, one of the first things I want to tell you before we get there is that if you have not activated your online portal, you can't use the apps. The apps will use the same password and the same user ID that you use on your online portal. So we'll send out an email when we announce the apps. We'll tell you how to activate your portal if you have not, because you won't be able to see the apps or the online portal if you haven't done that. And we are always posting our reports to our web portal. We will not be posting reports anymore. So the only people that have been seeing the reports are the people who actually have web portal access anyway. So if you don't have web portal access, you haven't been seeing the reports, and then you also will not be seeing obviously anything else on the portal or anything in the apps. So make sure you activate your web portal so you can keep up with everything. Now, we're not asking you to keep up with it on a daily basis. We think that's bad, but I think it is important for you to see what's going on. So let's come in here, and I use an Android phone, so I'm going to show you the install for Android. So you got to go to the Google Play Store and type in Burkett, and I'm going to type Burkett Financial, and there we go. You can see the third one down, Burkett Financial Services. Now I've already installed it on my phone, so I can show this video. So when we look at it, I'm just going to, I've got mine, and I could set open from here, but I'm not. I'm going to go back to my main screen. I've got mine in a grouping called Finance. I go into Finance, and I click on Burkett Financial Services. Now, I've already activated the fingerprint login on my phone. Your phone may or may not have fingerprint login. It depends upon, if you have that capability on your phone. So I'm just going to access it, but behind the scenes, behind the screen would be a login of email address and password, which again is the same email address and password that you have to use on the web portal. So web portal access must be done for the phone apps to work. So I'm going to activate my fingerprint. It's going to log me in. Now I've just got a test account. So at the top you see it says Tom and Susan test, in the very top right below the word dashboard. Now there's a drop down arrow to the far right. And if you drop that arrow down, it would be able to show you, see it says Tom and Susan test combined. If I hit that arrow, it would have individual accounts underneath that. So it might say for their IRA or for their brokerage account or for a Roth IRA or for Tom's account versus Susan's account. Now what we tried to do is on our web portal and on our apps, we basically got three tiles. It says manage market value on the top tile. It says performance, and it says investment gain. Now the market value is going to be as of the previous business day close, and these are usually updated by about 8:30, 9 o'clock a.m. Now the performance, you can see that Tom and Susan are up 12.52%, and we've got two little tabs on this. It says the one on the far left is really going to be year to date, and so in the middle blue box, the far left says 12/31/18 to yesterday's date. And if I clicked on the far right one, you can see it changes to 2.5. That's just the last 365 days. So far left, far right in that middle blue box. Down at the bottom, same thing, investment gain. Far left is year to date. Far right, so when you click on the date on the far right, it takes you to the last 365 days. So those are the tiles. If I click asset allocation at the top, it's going to show me how we're broken out. So it says we've got emerging markets, roughly $14,081. So if I click on emerging market, you can see it kind of makes the little circle donut at the top. It changes something to show you which box we're clicking into. If I click on domestic equity, it would show you, it changes the box a little bit. But that's kind of irrelevant. But it shows domestic equities 291,000. Now if I take this and I touch my screen and I drag it over, it's going to show me what amount of the portfolio. So it says 2.47% is emerging markets. So if I drag it back, it shows the dollar amount. Drag it to the right, it shows the percent amount. If I hit performance at the top, it's going to show me the emerging markets. So there's the 14,052. I think I said 82. 14,052. If I drag it to the right, it shows me at the beginning of the year. If I keep dragging it, it'll show me the rate of return for year to date on that particular asset. So emerging markets are up 17.21. So you can see the bottom is at 12.52. That takes me right back to the 12.52 that's over here. It's just showing the way it got there. So it says we got there by having some emerging markets, some foreign equity, domestic equity, etc., to get down to the 12.52%. If I drag it one more, it's going to show the last 365 days. So it's breaking out by asset class. It's going to show the total, 2.5, which will take you right back to the 2.5 right there. So if I want to look at the current holdings, I just drag it to the right and highlight current holdings, and it would show me emerging markets, and then it shows me that we have American Funds New World Group under the emerging market, and it says $14,052 basically. What is my cost basis? I can drag it to the right, unrealized gains, and I can look at the 2.47%, which is what it's made up of, or how much it makes up of the total account, I should say. But I want to see all the details. I just click the little arrows and close them. If I want to see what makes up my alternative strategy, I click the arrow and I say, okay, well, I own Calamos Market Neutral and I own IQ Hedge Multi-Strategy ETF. And I could look at that and go, well, that makes up 3.34%, Calamos does, of my total portfolio, and it's worth $19,003. Now, at the very top, you see 3 lines. And in those dashboard, that takes you back to the main area that we were just looking at. Reports. And so if we post any documents, so if we were to put a copy of your tax return on your web portal, you would get an alert inside your app. You can see it says that there's 4 documents. I'm not going to click on it because I'm not sure what they say underneath it. Just running a test. But if I clicked on documents, it'd say, okay, here's the 4 that we need to look at. If there's an announcement that we were saying, oh, by the way, there's a hurricane affecting us and we're going to be closed for business, but here's how to get in touch with us. You know, we could put an announcement like that in there, and then there would be a little 1 in a red circle next to the announcements. On the reports, the asset allocation and the holdings, those are the same things that we just looked at. So it's just a different way to get there. So that's nothing special there. If you look at the account performance, and I'm going to turn my phone where I can see it sideways. Actually, it's not going to rotate sideways, I'm sorry, so I'm going to leave it this way. So again, the same asset class, emerging markets, you know, the valuation, the year-to-date performance, 17.21, but you see underneath that, it says FTSE, FTSE, emerging markets net. That tells me what the emerging market index has done. So this particular emerging market is up 17.21, but the index is up 5.51. So significantly outperformed the index. If you look at domestic equity, 17.07, the index is up 20.85. Now for that, the index that we use in this report is the S&P 500. But the domestic equity truly has other items underneath it. It's got, in the domestic equity sleeve, we've got small companies, we've got mid companies, we've got large companies, and the S&P 500 is only a large index. So that's why the underperformance there, because small caps are only up about 15% this year, year to date. So if we look at it, we can see the way it performs for that particular holding against its particular index for comparison, because you don't want to just look at it and go, well, I'm up 12.52%. Well, the S&P 500 is up 20. Well, I'm only up 12. Well, because you've got emerging markets, which are up 17, but they're compared to the index, which is only up 5.5. So it gives us, as the advisors, the ability to see more detailed analysis, but we wanted you to be able to see that as well, so you can compare an apple to apple versus saying, oh, well, I saw on the news tonight that the Dow Jones is up whatever. We want to be able to show you how you are made up and how it compares. So that's pretty much it for the applications, the phone apps that we use. I showed you Android. The Apple Store is the exact same way to do it if you're familiar with the Apple Store. The app is the same. If you have any questions, please let someone know, and we'll be more than happy to get with you. Talk to your advisor or reach out to someone in the office that we can answer any questions that you have. But the bottom line is, we hope you enjoy it. We're not going to be doing the reports on a quarterly basis because we're going to be doing this on a daily basis. But you also have to make sure you have portal access. We'll send you the link to that. The link doesn't come from Burkett Financial Services, it comes from Tamarack. So don't be surprised when you get a link that's not necessarily from Burkett. So make sure you activate your web portal, and then your next step is either just use the web portal or use the web portal and the phone apps, or just use the phone apps. But we're trying to give you a more robust technological experience. So hopefully that will help you on things, and we hope you enjoy it, but reach out to us and let us know if you have any issues.